Absolutely.
But all right, what's next?
All right, so that's NCAA football coming up, which is also going on right now. We got a busy Saturday, man.
Yeah, it is very busy, and it is not going at all the way that I expected the morning to go. Now, I was really expecting Iowa have a bounce back game after a big letdown last week. That is totally not the fucking case. I'm trying to get it to reload now. The last time I saw they were down 17-0.
Like it loads up for a second and then it goes away. But there we go. We're back. All right, Iowa. It is 0-20 right now.
Okay,
Wisconsin's winning 20-0.
It is getting a little worse.
Halftime.
Last time I saw it was 17-0. Not great for Iowa. That doesn't bode well for Ohio State either going forward when we beat Iowa. But there's a possibility some of these other teams are going to drop out. We are going to have a last game of the season matchup with Michigan that could propel us into that top 4. And also, Cincinnati has not looked great over the last couple of weeks. They're struggling again right now with Tulane. 14-12.
They're another one of those teams that seems to be like playing down to their competition, even if they're playing unranked or not even just unranked, but not very good teams like Tulane, the 1-6 Tulane team. It's 14-12 at halftime.
Yeah.
That's way too close for comfort. Now, usually they come out in the second half, and that's where their defense kind of steps up and they create that gap.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what you want to see from your number 2 ranked team.
No, that's not at all what I want to see from my number 2 ranked team. And we were actually sent you the article. There's a bunch of scouts who were going through and they were evaluating quarterbacks getting ready to come out. And Desmond Ridder ended up being like the highest rated guy in college right now. And he's not necessarily performing up to that, what talent evaluators are seeing in the stat department. Maybe it's, they see he's a big guy, big arm, dual threat. Maybe that's why their evaluations are so high on him. But this Cincinnati team should not be struggling with a 1-6 Tulane.
They shouldn't be. Now, so far, Ritter's stat line, he's 8 for 14, 128 yards and a touchdown. I don't have anything here pulled up on his rushing stats or anything. So that's honestly, whenever I seem to check in on his scores and I'm not watching, they seem to be about this.
Yeah.
He's around that 50% mark, a little bit above, roughly around that 100 yards and a touchdown. It's still not like the blowout type numbers that you would expect to see from that number 1 prospect. And again, from the games I've watched, I feel like that offense doesn't suit him. So I think that's part of it, why we're not seeing those stats. But, oh boy, we almost had a...
no, so the child almost broke in. I texted Amber, I need a phone charger. My phone's about dead. If you'll hand that to me.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why it's nice having a producer around all the time that can help you out with shit.
But yeah, so back to Desmond Ridder, I don't feel like the offense suits him there at Cincinnati to show off his skill set, which can be pretty electric. But also, I mean, his accuracy issues for me is the biggest holdup. And if he's able to somehow get that reined in, maybe it's a professional coach, and after a year or so of sitting on a bench or something like that, that he can start to pick that up. But I don't see how you can commit a first-round pick at this point to someone.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying. And a lot of time writers that have a first-round grade on him, and we're saying that how do you commit a first-round pick to a guy that has accuracy issues? So there is a potential that some of these quarterbacks, this is not a great year. If you need a quarterback.
It isn't a great quarterback draft.
Not at all. And I think so. God, was that Christian Ponder's year? He was drafted in the second round, and there was only one guy, E.J. Manuel, taken in the first round.
No, Ponder was taken in the first round, along with that was Jake Locker, Christian Ponder. So there was a lot of not great picks that year. I believe that was when the Jags took what's his nuts long hair. I can't think of his name. I think he's the backup now for
Jags?
Brady. Yeah.
Nah, God, not Bortles, was it?
No.
Who did it take? Gabbert?
Yeah.
There it is, Blaine Gabbert.
I'm pretty sure that was the year. Trying to pull it up. It was just a horrible draft. Now, E.J. Manuel, I believe, was taken in that draft, possibly Josh Freeman as well, but I'm not sure where. But yeah, it was just a a horrible draft year for quarterbacks. And I think that's kind of what we could be looking at this year, where you have guys with little traits here and there.
Right.
And teams have to take quarterbacks in the first round, and you're going to end up having a lot of guys that end up busting. But in those years, that's usually the ones where you end up seeing guys in those later rounds that were overlooked that end up doing something.
Yeah, so you can get a career backup. You might be able to get a spot starter later on. Some of these guys are going to definitely get pumped up. They're going to be over evaluated. Thank you. So yeah, the producer was super nice to send me this charging cord and base, but she gave me one that doesn't have USB-C and a cord that's only USB-C the first time. So
nice.
Our producer, basically the producer of my entire life, the wife, Amber Carlisle. Thank you very much for that. She tells me what to do all the time, and I just kind of say yes because she's way smarter than I am. All right.
That's typically how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this draft that Christian Ponder was in, not that we need to get into it too deep, but quarterback wise, so you have Cam Newton over number 1 overall. That makes sense. All right. But then you have Jake Locker, you have Blaine Gabbert, you have Christian Ponder, all going in the first round there. So yeah, it was rough.
It's a fucking terrible draft.
Andy Dalton, Colin Kaepernick were taken in the second.
Who was the EJ Manuel year? Because he was the only guy taken in the first round. I don't remember what fucking year that was.
Ryan Mallett was taken in the third round that year. Yeah, it was rough for quarterbacks. EJ Manuel.
Drafted 2013. What draft was that you were just talking about?
2011.
Okay, so a couple of years after. He was the only guy taken in the first round was EJ Manuel, I want to say. And then everybody else was also not very good behind him.
And he wasn't even taken super early, really.
No.
Emmanuel was taken with the number 16 pick by the Bills. And then, yeah, no other quarterbacks in the first.
Nope. And then I think Geno Smith
was in the second.
Yep. That's Matt Barkley, Ryan Nassib, Mike Glennon. It was a fucking awful year if you needed a quarterback. This may be that kind of year again where we get one guy who goes in the first round a little later on, and then a bunch of jags that just kind of happen throughout the draft.
Yeah. The way that the NFL is set up, though, is like I don't see how teams aren't going to take shots in the first round at quarterbacks, even if there isn't that supreme talent like you're expecting to see at the top.
Yeah.
It's not always prudent. But you have GMs and head coaches and franchises, to be frank, that are struggling, that need a quarterback, and they're just going to take shots.
I don't understand it, though. Like, and as a Browns fan, like, stop fucking doing it. Get a guy who's talented with a first-round pick who improves your team no matter where the fuck he improves your team. I get it. You can't win if you don't have a quarterback. But if you draft a quarterback in the first round who sucks dick and you know you shouldn't take in the first round, you're not helping the team. You've wasted first-round pick on a guy who you know is probably not a first-round talent when you could maybe still go get a first-round talent.
Sure.
It pisses me off. Like, quarterback is the most important position in football. It's the most important position in all of fucking sports. But if there's not a guy, you can't force it. Listen, as Browns fans, everybody out there has seen what happens when you try to force a pick. You draft a fucking 28-year-old guy who used to be a baseball player and sucked there too. You get Johnny Manziel, who's not an adult. I have a 9-year-old who's more of an adult than Johnny Manziel was. Johnny would tell you the same goddamn thing. He's grown up a little bit now, but I would never touch him in any league as a quarterback. We've been through so many fucking guys who are not guys. Like, get talent where you get your talent. If you had a first round grade, a high first round grade on a guy, and he falls a little bit, don't draft a quarterback who you have a second or a third round grade on in the first round. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Don't reach. But yeah, so college football, we have those games going on. Like I said, Cincinnati, Tulane. Cincinnati has the ball now. Third has started, but it's 14-12 since Cincinnati, so not very much of a margin there. Number 6 and number 8, that's a pretty close game right now still between Michigan and Michigan State. 23-14 for Michigan.
At the half there, yeah. So I think Michigan added that field goal there just at the end. They were up 20-14. Probably kicked that field goal going into half. Wisconsin is coming out of halftime now. Iowa does not have the ball. They need a couple of big defensive stops. I need a couple of big defensive stops from Iowa for some betting reasons. I thought Iowa was going to have a bounce back game, and it's not fucking happening right now. So,
I mean, you would expect a bounce back game and them just to be better than Wisconsin at this point.
Wisconsin has not been great this year at all.
They're 4-3. They're not absolutely atrocious by any means, but Iowa, the way that Iowa has played this year, you would expect them to be doing better than they're doing right now.
However, Iowa was getting points in this game. I should probably just start listening to Vegas and thinking that I can make some money off of them.
Yep. Texas Baylor, number 16 Baylor is losing 14-10 right now. They have started in the third quarter with Texas having the ball. And then halftime, still Miami and Pittsburgh. Miami's winning 31-17, 31 points in the first half versus number 17 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this might be the best game that Miami has put together so far this year. Against a, number 17 ranked team. They appear to be doing very well. Now, I've not had an opportunity to watch it. Obviously, we're in here recording. But good for Miami. I don't know who the fuck they got playing quarterback, but maybe that's your guy going forward, because Derek King is done after this year. You got to find somebody else who can play quarterback. You got to find a way to get some talent down there. You're the University of Miami. You are in a hotbed of fucking high school football down there in Florida. You got to recruit better. You got to get kids in there that can perform. I like when Miami's good. I don't particularly care when Florida State or Florida are good, but when Miami's good, it's cool. They're one of those storied franchises, like storied colleges.
They've fallen off, but definitely during the era that we grew up in, the NFL was, Miami was a feeder school for the NFL and a lot of big name players like Aaron Hernandez.
Yep.
Tyler Van Dyke is the quarterback for them right now, so he's 15-21 currently, 267 with 2 touchdowns.
Whew. Those are good fucking numbers. You said Tyler Van Dyke?
Yep.
Is this kid a freshman?
No fucking clue.
Let's find out real quick. Tyler Van Dyke. He doesn't look like a goddamn freshman.
He is a freshman, though. He's 6'4", 224 from Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Okay, so he looks like a fucking goofball.
Yep.
But yeah, good for that kid. He's fucking balling out. Doing much better. I mean, he may look like a goofball. Kid can play fucking ball, though, so good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so anything else with college football you want to talk about? We got some games going on later today.
I am excited for the Ohio State-Penn State game. Obviously, I'm a huge Ohio State fan. Penn State's coach is either high or an idiot. He basically has been all week saying he's really looking forward to the next game against fucking Indiana or somebody. He's either looking past Ohio State or forgot who the hell he was playing. Coach Franklin has been tied to a lot of different stories about potentially going other places. Maybe his mind is elsewhere. I expect us to beat the ever-living piss out of Penn State today. If you are not focused on the team you're playing, you can't remember who the fuck you're playing, and you got other external factors going on, it's not going to be great. CJ Stroud, I was worried about him very early in the season. He has come back after he missed that game. He's played so fucking good. He's actually got his name in the Heisman race now, and that Ohio State defense drastically improved. There are still some holes, but they have made some headway on slowing down the run. We should smack Penn State today. I'm excited for that game.
Fair enough.